He's never fought us. Not us united.
Oh! I can so see that. That's it. Welcome to Comics League. I'm Jared, and today I'm going to discuss with you two very important, well, really two more really important Superman characters that I think are very essential to his mythos. Now, I talked about last week on Under Two Capes. I talked about Jimmy Olsen, and Lord knows I've made many videos on why I don't think Lois Lane is that needed. But so these two individuals that I think are some of the most important people to Superman, actually the most important, really, Jonathan and Martha Kent. So let me start off here. The story of Superman is that his ship comes in, crash lands, and this nice all-American couple take him in because they've always wanted a kid, they couldn't have a kid. Then ship crashes, they adopt him. And when Clark starts to manifest his powers, they start to raise him to use those powers for good and to always see the good in people. What we see, the thing about John and Martha Kent, why it's so important is that what we see as Superman, I've done plenty of videos about why Superman is very important, why he's my favorite superhero. All of that comes from Jonathan and Martha Kent. That is why those two characters are always the most important part of it. So it's like they are responsible for teaching Clark to be the man that he is today. Or, well, he is in the comics. Case in point, what's interesting is that in the New 52, they were dead. So what's actually interesting about that is that you saw how it affected Superman. He was a little darker, a little more reserved from humanity, a little more detached. So really what's interesting about that is that it's become the detachment from humanity. And first off, it shows the need, it shows what happens when you don't have them. But with the new, what's interesting about that is that I've heard when I was debating people on Lois Lane, they always say Superman, Lois humanizes Clark, and without her, he loses his link to humanity. And I'm like, well, that's not true at all, because, and Batman said this in Superman and Wonder Woman, I think 3 or 4, somewhere in there. It's in that series, in the first arc, Power Couple, before it all went downhill. Batman says, you were raised human. You were raised by a nice couple in Metropolis. You were raised to always see humanity as your home team. You're always going to see humanity as your home team. And that's the key here, because here's the thing. Yes, Lois plays a role when he gets to Metropolis. That's why I'm not saying eliminate the character completely. I'm just saying the marriage doesn't really work. But as it relates to Superman's humanity and him being the character that we know and love, it's really just John and Martha Kent that have this positive effect on him, because they raised him to be that way. They raised him to use his powers to always benefit humanity as opposed to benefiting oneself. Now, you can still benefit yourself, but you always have to look out for others first. That is what these two have given to Clark. That is why they are the most important. Arguably, actually, here's the thing. They're the most important people in the entire DC universe. You know why? Because I argue that Superman is the most important hero because he sets the tone for everyone else. He wouldn't have that tone to set for everyone else had John and Martha Kent not raised him. So really, when you think about it, they are the two single most important DC characters of all time. I know it's a big mind blown, but there you go. So that is chiefly why these two characters are some of the most important DC characters ever. Because without them, you don't have Superman. Now, you could say, what about Injustice Superman? Okay, that's a good question because they were there. But again, Injustice Superman had significantly other factors that affected his loss of humanity. Okay, so in Injustice, the Joker kills makes Superman kill Lois Lane, then nukes Metropolis. Okay, Batman distancing himself from Superman instead of being there for his friend, because at that point, the Joker had been the only one that's dead. So Batman could have gone, hey, listen, dude, I don't like that you killed the Joker, but you know what? I get that you were in pain and in mourning, so it's no big deal. I'm here for you. I'm going to help you through this. Add on to that, a evil Wonder Woman trying to like manipulate Superman to subjugating man's world. So there is that, and a bunch of other factors. But it's not just that. It's not just the loss of Lois that pushes Superman to become that evil dictator that like he visions Shazam's eyes out. There are other things, but my point is with John and Martha Kent again. They were present there, but again, I mean, it's a good question. But see, here's the thing. Again, it's essentially, yes, they were there, but there were other factors that were destroying Clark. So that's it. That's really what Injustice is. But anyway, that's why in every continuity, you have to have John and Martha Kent. It's just not it has to be that way. That's why one ding on the new 52, because I don't like how John and Martha Kent were so absent because they were dead until like I think Doomsday Clock is when they finally brought them back, because that's when Dr. Manhattan goes back and rechanges it so Superman saves John and Martha Kent from the car crash. So that's when they said, okay, so you need these. These are very, Dr. Manhattan himself said, okay, so Superman's very important and these factors have to be in there in order for it to work. So that's like my essentially 5-minute discussion on why I think John and Martha Kent are the most important DC Comics characters of all time. And like, comment, subscribe, drop in the comments who you think are the most important DC characters of all time. Well, actually, yeah, and that. And do you agree with me on that honor being given to John and Martha Kent? And do you think that without them, Superman like falls apart? Well, let me know in the comments, and we'll have a nice discussion about it. So that's the end of this video. Remember, Indie Wednesday, I'm talking about Undiscovered Country Volume 2. I mean, Volume 3. But by the time this goes live, tomorrow will be the day that that my Justice League rewatch shows continues with Nick when we talk about Paradise Lost. And then Thursday, we're talking about Mandalorian. So that's always fun. And then weekend is a good Under Two Capes. I'm still trying to figure out relatively. I have some ideas on topics. I don't want to like spoil them. But that's what I got for you guys today. Hope you guys have a great day. Stay heroic, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.